What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rasco Garage. I got the e36 idling behind me, and I'll show you why here in a second. If you track your car, take the car to the track, and you're interested in extracting some more power, you're going to want to pay attention in this video. So I'm going to show you the data stream that's coming off my car right now. So on my scan tool, if you look at the intake air temperature, it's showing 123 degrees, and the car is just idling in my garage. So that is something that occurs often when you do the M50 intake manifold swap. So I wanted to show you that and get a baseline, because this thing will idle more, and typically it'll get all the way up to like 150 plus degrees at just idle intake air temperature, which is very hot. So what we're going to do today, yeah, it's already going up 125. Let's see, return. Okay, let me turn the car off really quick. Now that we got a baseline for it, now that I got the engine nice and hot, so I can put my hands in it. Okay. So now, on to what this video is actually about. So I'm gonna unhook this thing. Yeah, so if your scanner has the data stream feature, that is what's gonna give you that information to get the intake temp and all that good stuff. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little computer trick. So what I have here is an intake air temperature sensor. It's located on the back of the intake manifold, and you can take it off without, so here's what it looks like here. I got this one from Napa Auto Parts. They had it in stock. So what we're going to do, and I got to give a shout out. Oh, I forgot the dude's name, but I've had a lot of problems with my fuel trim. I had a P1188 code, chasing that for a long ass time. Anyways, got it all sorted out. But I was talking to one of the gentlemen at Active Auto Works. That's where I had my tune from, just to see if, hey, is it something with the tune? Did I do something different? Do I need to retune it? Like, so on and so forth. So I was just basically going over all my data specs with him, and he was in charge of like the race development. He was part of like the team that developed the in-house e36 race cars and whatnot. And he said, you know, when you do these M50 swaps, intake manifold swaps, excuse me, they tend to run a little bit hot. The computer reads that air temperature as very hot, like an inflated value, if you will. So what he recommended I do is unplug the sensor itself, because the sensor actually acts as like one of the best plugs you can have to plug up the intake manifold. So just leave it in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to run the new one up here behind my bumper, and I think I have a good place to actually get mine to seat in there nicely and safely. So I was thinking somewhere within the actual like bumper structure, but the final resting place will be to be determined. So like I said, the I don't know, you're not gonna be able to see it on camera, but basically straight down in this last hole here, right by where the mounting location is, there's a clip that you can actually get a screwdriver from the top, push the clip, and then pull the plug out, but you have to kind of pull it at an angle towards the block, because if you pull straight down it'll bind. You have to kind of pull it outward. You can unplug it, and then the routing, we can get it up, and I can have it come out of here with plenty of slack. So then what I'll do is we'll make a little loom for it. Yeah, so the idea is we're going to have the air temperature sensor in the front of the car, away from the motor, just getting much cooler air. So if I can take that 120 to 150 at idle down to like under 100, less than 90, like we're going to extract a lot more power because the engine's going to be reading much cooler temps. It's going to run happy. It's going to give it air and fuel based on that temp versus that really hot temperature. So I think the car is going to be really happy. So let's start cramming our hands under the intake manifold and getting this shit unplugged. All right, so I got the sensor pulled out and fished through the intake manifold. So now I have access to it, and I have the wires labeled so I don't get them backwards, but they are actually numbered on here. You can see it. There's 1 and 2, so I have this wire labeled as 1, not to get it confused. And it's also gray in color as well. So what I'll probably do is I'll put another piece of tape down here and then cut it somewhere up here and then splice my wire on there. But I have the new one plugged in. So what I wanted to do, because I'm trying to figure out a routing, I don't know if I want to drill a hole here and have it mounted. Is this going to be too hot? What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the car and hook up my diagnostic tool with the sensor just out and ambient air and not in the intake manifold, because before cold start idle it was about 125 degrees intake air temp. So if this is anything lower than that, especially something significantly lower than that, I think we're for sure on the right track. So let me get my diagnostic tool booted up, and then we'll take a look at the data. All right, so we'll go down to data stream, view all items. Hell yeah. 30 degrees cooler. Wow. That is awesome. So we just have the sensor right here, and when it was plugged into the intake, it was running at 123 to 125 degrees. This is just steady at 93. Hell yeah. So, and it's not even moving. It's not even changing. So now I think I'll just probably make a little mount for it, because I just think it needed to be out of the intake itself. I think that was what was throwing off or creating the inflating the temperature or inflating the values, if you will. So yeah, it's staying at 93. So that's literally 30 degrees cooler. Now I don't know a ton of what the ECU does in terms of like inputs and like air fuel ratio and whatnot, but that computer is telling itself it's running 30 degrees cooler than it was. And I'm telling you, like, just driving around a little bit or having it idle even longer, like 10-minute idle, it would be at 150 degrees, literally idling in my garage. So, and that thing hasn't even fucking moved from 93. Oh man, this thing's gonna fucking rip. Okay, so that helps me out. Now I can locate a spot, and then I'll figure out how I can run the wires neatly over there, and then I'll figure out what the wire gauge is. I'm almost certain it's 20 gauge. At the most, it'll be 18, but yeah, we'll check that out right now. Alright, so new mounting location here.
It's fixed on there nice. We got it wired up. We got the wires extended. Just got it zip tied here. I went underneath the intake, and if you could see it down there, it's hard to see, but there's actually a metal tab. Just have it zip tied there so it'll stay in place. It's got a nice amount of slack there. And then next thing we'll do
is I'll fire it up, make sure it's good, and then I'll put the diagnostic tool on there once more, and we'll see if she's running cooler still. Alright, running great. No codes. Let's check the air temp. Oh yeah, even cooler. So I did this earlier idle. It was 93 degrees. When I did it earlier and I was running off the stock location in the intake manifold, yeah, it was 125 degrees. Alright, so pretty straightforward job if you know how to solder or splice wires, whatever. I just had to add it's like 2 more feet to my wires to get the air temp sensor relocated in a position that runs, Jesus, almost 35 degrees cooler than what it was doing in the intake manifold. So, yeah guys, just relocated it right here. Ran some new wires, zip tied it up. Pretty sure we just got some more power. So, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Drop me a comment if you have any questions. Till next time. See you later.